readers, and welcome to All Booked Book Reviews, where I post my book reviews and recommendations on the first and third Fridays of each month. Today is St. Patrick's Day, which is really fun. Honestly, I don't celebrate it much other than just wearing green, but I really wanted to do a St. Patrick's Day book or even just something that's set in Ireland, and my mind instantly went to one of my favorite childhood books. Today's review will be different because it will be our first under 3-star rating. So Far From Home, The Diary of Mary Driscoll, an Irish Mill Girl, was written by Barry Denenberg. This is part of the Dear America series, which, just a side note, I grew up reading this series, so I love it. This was published in 1997. It has 166 pages. It doesn't have chapters, it has diary entries, and I'm not going to count all those entries, that would be insane. But the entries are pretty short, as you can see here. Some are not even half a page. So this book moves really, really fast. I'm going to say the reading time is no more than 2 hours, and if you were to read this in one setting, you could easily buzz through this book in less than that time. As far as the series goes, this is definitely one of the shorter books, and this will go under the historical fiction genre and middle grade. Friday, July 9th, 1847, Lowell. Miss Abbott's house is so near the mills we were able to walk there. I never dreamed earthly hands could make anything that big. It looked to me like all the people in Ireland could fit inside. It was like a fortress. There were smokestacks blowing their blackness heavenward and darkening the sky. I felt cold, although the day was warm. A shudder rippled through my body. There's nothing to be afraid of, I told myself. What could be worse than what I'd already seen back in Ireland? I had to go through those gates. Before this read, I hadn't read this in a very long time, so going into this, I was like, oh, this book is so awesome, and this will be a fun experience. However, I was shocked when I finished this and I realized how many things I did not like. So I'm going to start with the likes. I'm 98% sure this one, So Far From Home, was the very first introduction I had to the series. So that goes a long way. I have a lot of love for this book and really good memories. The nostalgia just hits home for me. I love it. I find the topic interesting. The potato famine in Ireland and then working in the mill and those harsh working conditions. I don't know why, but I've always found that interesting. Like my last review I did, Uprising, was about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory and the harsh working conditions and then the strike and everything. And like the Newsies strike of 1899. And there were a bunch of extras at the end. In all the books in the series, there are things from there's old recipes, there's songs, maps, there's drawings, all kinds of stuff. And it really brings the history to life. And this book in particular, there was so many extras at the back. I loved it. Okay, on the other side of the coin, the ending is abrupt. The last entry leaves you hanging a lot. However, the epilogue is depressingly short, and the tone is kind of prickly. No matter how many times I read this, it's always like, ouch. And when it came to the main character, Mary, it's a shame we didn't get more into her mind, because honestly, she didn't have much personality. The only thing we really get out of her is work, 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 saving money to bring her parents over, which I totally get. It's realistic. But that's it. I mean, you don't really get into her mind of who she is and, likes, dislikes, nothing. It's just she's like almost robotic in that way where it's just work, work, work. And lastly, the entries, they were really random and kind of empty. They didn't have much heart. Like I mentioned, we don't really get to know Mary. Rather than opening up herself to the reader, she's just listing random facts. I felt there was a lot of potential for this book, but it missed the mark on a lot of things. I was going to give this 3 stars, but considering all my dislikes and comparing that with other reviews where I've had as many dislikes, that just seems really biased. So I'm giving this 2.5 out of 5 stars. I still love this book. This is not a negative as in I hate this. I'm not trying to bash the book or the author. I'm just being honest with my review. This book, like any book, is not for everybody, obviously. I do recommend this, though. If you've read some of the series and you want to continue, don't write this one off. Read it for yourself and see what you think. I don't recommend So Far From Home as an introduction to the series for a first-time reader. However, I have these up here that are my absolute top favorites that I highly recommend. Do check those out for the series first. I am excited to share with you that there is actually a Dear America series TV show, It already ended. There's only like 2 seasons, and one of the episodes is So Far From Home. I'm someone who likes to compare the book to the movie just to see the differences and similarities. I realize that they're going to be different, of course, different medias, but I recently watched the show just to compare it. Honestly, I like the plot in the movie better. I think it just makes more sense, especially having Sean, who's a side character in the book, giving him more screen time. Be aware, the acting in a lot of the episodes are cheesy and corny and kind of cringy, but it's all in good fun. You know, it's a kid's show and it's educational. So that is going to conclude my review of So Far From Home. I hope you enjoyed it. You got something out of it. Let me know, do you want to see more negative reviews or like less than 3-star reviews? Because before today, my rule of thumb was if I can't give it at least 3 stars, I'm not doing it on this channel. And my reasoning for that is because a lot of work goes into these videos and I don't feel it's worth the effort just to put a negative review, you know what I mean? Because it's supposed to be book recommendations. I'm torn between doing a bit of both, so let me know what your thought is. So with that said, I will see you all April 7th with our next review. Make sure you subscribe so you get that notification. You do not want to miss it. And until then, happy reading!